Good evening. Welcome to the program. Tonight on Point of View, we have a couple of stories that we are bringing to you, and you get to give us your viewpoint. We are actually bringing stories that regards the headlines of the week and also stories that have made lots of noise right during the week. My name is Chaza right here on our Ubuntu channel, and I'll be joined by a number of people that will be with me live in the studio, and amongst which we have Lance Sani Banda. Lance, good evening.
Good evening, Chaza. How are you doing this evening? It's a lovely weekend.
Indeed, I'm doing pretty fine. How are you doing?
Well, not bad. The Lord is on our side and we are very grateful.
We thank God indeed. It's a Saturday, just like any other Saturday, where we bring you Point of View. And this is your program. You get to air out your views on news of the week and stories of the week. We get straight into the first story tonight. On the other side, we get to analyze the story.
A broken door at this one-roomed house where a 4-year-old boy was being locked up. Apparently, this has been done by the mother for 3 days now in this part of Lusaka's garden compound. These angry residents are not happy with this state of affairs.
Uyu mkashana alashe omwana lyonse ati abomba ku restaurant so ku restaurant kuleta twayishibanga kuiso kwa bombera ina lyonse nga nayo kaili mulimo kwali kwete nkongole kulini ngana afika pali yakusanga kamwana kaliso bano ko ati nabaya kwipsha balandroad ati afuma oluchelo omwana namusha and for sure ali musangira omwana pakona le tutuma nempepo mwingire mwempepo iliko ati banyina bali kuisa ati nabaya.
So tifuna uyu mwana uyu boma yanganepo ngakumpeleka ku clinic yalo kumpeleka ko somewhere so that this woman should learn a lesson which is not health and good for this child. Na bakashana binango ewakangiwa kusunga abana. It's better apereka ko kumaleredwe kwinango or apereka ku
ni nzeru muzimayi 9 months 1 month to 9 months kusunga mwana mungasunga nyama munyumba. Eva achoka aenda kunchito na mamuna achoka aenda kuchito. Wewe sanga sile ko ise neighbors kuti tisungire nko ni mwana. Malaiti mama vintambo vili naked. Nichoi pasina kondwele Olo kunipasa mwana ningamusunge.
Ngwele Ward 22 Councillor Adrian Banda is concerned about the boy's situation.
He's 4 years old and is helping himself within the house, which is uninhabitable. And as an area councillor, I'm not happy, and we shall make sure that we shall report this matter to the police, and the police shall take its own course. And my appeal to the general public within my ward, please, they take care of the children. Because these children we are seeing tomorrow, to be where I am as area councillor.
The community has since taken the boy to the police as they wait to hand him over to the social welfare department. Efforts to get her mother proved futile as she was reported to be at work.
There we are, house arrest by own parent. What is your reaction to this story? Lance?
Thank you so much, Chaza. Good evening once again to viewers that have just joined in. House arrest by your own mother or your own parents. This is a nightmare that this child is supposed to live with since the time that he has been put on house arrest by the own mother. Mothers, as we know, these are people that are very close to their children and people that are supposed to show love more than any other being, especially when we talk about mother-father relationship to the child. This is a sad state of affairs, and it really makes a sad reading or a sad hearing to say that a mother, upon starting work for 2 weeks or for 2 days, has been leaving child locked under lock and key without even left under the care of anybody that is superior than the child to take care of this particular person. If this child wants to answer the call of nature, how do they do it? If they want to acquaint themselves with food, how do they get to do it? Because this is a 4-year-old child that we are talking about. Sazwa kupika Chaza, uyu mwana sazwa kusanga kuti nje apa pali time ninga je chakudya chaso opali time ninga chite chaso and pamwamba pake vili mu nyumba muja siviziwika kuti nje niva kudya pamene mwana wa 4 years angakwanise kudya. This makes a sad reading or a sad hearing, and my implore to not only the mother but to the rest of the people out there that are listening to this particular program is to say, please, let's take care of our children. No matter the circumstance, no matter the situation that you are going through. Mwana ni mwana, ndiponso osafuna kulanga mwana choipa chifukwa atate wake anakulanga choipa naye ofuna obweza choipira kuluzinga mwana iyayi. Okuti ndiye mwapeza ntchito sakirani azibululu ba mwana, sakirani azibululu banu, ndiponso sakirani muntu aliyense angakwanise kulanganira uyu mwana kuti iye mwana akwanisenso kukula mumalengedwe kapena mumayanganisidwe yomwe iye afunika kukuliramo. So Chaza, this makes me sad, and I am truly sad that this happened. It's good to know that the local councillor by the name of Adrian Banda came through, and also it makes it sad that the councillor, instead of at least doing something positive or maybe promising something positive, he says tizalanganirapo. We do not elect leaders kuti vambotipasa ma future sentences ati tiza. We elect leaders to say apa manje tizachita chaso. Ndiye zinthu zomwe vantu omwe atiyanganira mu community zomwe iwo afunika kuchita. Chaza, this is my submission to this story. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lance. We greatly appreciate. Himba, welcome to the program and good evening to you.
Thank you so much, Chaza, and good evening to you.
Thank you so much. What's your viewpoint on this story? A child locked up by his own mother.
First of all, Chaza, may I say I'm so humbled by the reaction from the community. That was really wonderful reaction in the interest of the child. And I'm so humbled with the words which has been echoed by the last speaker. I think so it even makes somebody to be proud of being called a Zambian, because we are the sister's keeper, we are the brother's keeper, which shows that it's everyone's child. Now coming to the parents, apparently this story, according to what I've gotten, is like, this is a couple. The mother and the father goes for work in the morning. So I wonder what kind of parents would behave like that towards their own child. That is unheard of. That is inhuman. That is, it's not even something we should entertain. That child is actually a 4-year child. And if we follow very well, cables naked. Imagine if accidentally that child cables, what happens? Umwana does the toilet. That is literally tormenting the child. That is seriously child abuse. And I invite the government to come in and rescue this child. If they'll take both parents for counseling, let it happen. Much do we appreciate that they need to go out, to go and source for the family, to go and look for food for the family. But there should be an arrangement for the child. There should be an arrangement to ensure that the welfare of the child is really taken care of. I submit.
Thank you so much. We do greatly appreciate. At this point in time, we'll go straight to the next story. And on the other side, we continue with our views as regards the story.
Her right arm was amputated while her right leg is still paralyzed. Grace Mbangai, grade 12 pupil Achiengwe Boarding Secondary School in Ndola survived a fatal road accident last year in October where 5 other teenagers died on the spot. A speeding drunken driver allegedly bashed the young people who were on their way to school after a soccer tournament. Grace, who survived the accident, has been bedridden since last year October.
Number 9 months in my insurance tabaita po fiance shia kuskuru nama se bizwani bare bachita depends kwa hamisha kwa tabadazi ro mama tabaya kunjto.
The accident happened 2 weeks before writing her grade 12 final exams.
Naron hash with accidents na ichikaba shinto vya tawa chipona ndo kwa nalikuwa ko BP paka pata dezo nshitanga shuku kutakuro bana seba mamnishwa mtiro ko kondele mbe exam ini to mamba sanje bati cha kwa importance pa kuboko no moji na sukati moyo fa hinja to no accident manjitana manje ni vya chiteke epine ronishi accident sinishko za 2 weeks to kulembe exam na exam sha dembele elo vampere no yati ndembe exam no ronisha ku school na ba insurance na utaba to minta posa kwa mando tabalanda po 23 very straight barapon fighting amato mina tinalami to minista imbio finish chapa bala rona mot kutabaita po support you on sabala kana mot kande ba insurance.
Since then, no help has come through for this helpless girl and she has not returned to school. Grace is now asking for help.
Wanga pesho kwa nangba insurance banchi to compensate kwa nangba mfalo kicho alinza mkumvu na panupanganda nangu wheelchair kwa ndendra ndefuma kwa nangu nipanze.
Her mother, who is a widow, is helpless too and needs help.
Tapali wala shana bina brother wako mwaumi na wala ku school. So ni kwatoko bwafe male ntozi so inganda pano 6 months insha sonkela. Ukuli ya fina ba family na ba church.
For now, Grace is hoping for the best as she looks forward to going back to school. Mushota.
A self-explanatory story there as regards an accident victim. Himba, what is your viewpoint on this story?
Chaza, this is a very sad story, very devastating story. All I would say is to call upon the stakeholders to come to the edge of this family, and especially the young girl. She deserves to go back to school. She deserved to be compensated. And it's really sad that nothing has been done even to compensate the girl. My greatest appeal to the government is that may the stakeholders, even the lawmakers, to come in and assist this child. She needs to go back to school. She needs to live a normal life. As she's saying, she has actually asked, I mean, those are basic needs. I want to go back to school. Olonkabeko fiena wheelchair. Yes, badi musendela molu ya kumwaichi. So can the child be improvised with something that would make her live at least, how can I call it? I would say that would help us at least to be able to be independent and also to move about and do her own things. So can the well-wishers who can help, please come in and help this child and go back to school. And also the government, we call upon all the stakeholders to come to the aid of this family, to support this family. And may this driver also be the owner of the bus to make sure making sure that now the insurance pays this family. How can he be saying about insurance? We know that the person, the victims are the one who push up the matter, but he can come in. Probably he's also taking advantage of the family. Can the law enforcers come to the rescue of this child? Please, I submit, Chaza.
Thank you so much, Himba. We do appreciate. Lance, what's your reaction as regards this accident victim?
Thank you so much, Chaza. And trust me, like Himba has said, this is really something that makes a mother or parents out there very sad, especially owing to the fact that this is a child that did not decide to be amputated by choice, but due to circumstances that were beyond her control. And this is something that happened on a school bus. It didn't happen on a regular bus or where somebody maybe just decided, maybe drunkly or in another state, to cause this traffic road accident. But it is a school bus, and then uncertainties happened from there. So obviously, the first thing that we need to look at is the fact that people that were involved, the schools and people that caused the accident, to come through and help to the needies of this young woman. She is very willing to go back to school. She had this accident when she was in grade 12, and she wants to get back to school. She wants to learn, to continue learning, and maybe probably use that opportunity to attend the highest possible education that which she can attend from what she is capable of. So we are employing to not only the government but also the people out there to look up to this matter, or look into this issue, look into this matter. The school also to look into this matter, that accident victims that survived that accident get to be taken care of. And it's so glad, like I would be glad to report to you, Chaza, and everybody that is watching. The other day, Parliament was debating this same issue of when do we admit back pupils that have dropped out of school due to different situations that they've gone through, those that have fallen pregnant, those that have been in accidents, and those that fall into different actions. So Parliament is debating this, and we hope to see that things get to fall into place. Thank you so much, Chaza.
Right, you can join us as our viewer to participate on the program by clicking on the link that we have shared, or you can simply join us by making a comment right here on the program, and we'll be delighted to actually have you on the program with us. All right, let's get to the next story, and we do actually make cognizance of the messages that you have sent so far, and do definitely get to actually highlight, especially those that have actually come through comments or messages. Let's get to the next story, and on the other side, we continue with the analysis.
Good afternoon. My name is Jongo Kosten, leader of a group of young African affairs activists here in Zambia. I wish to confirm that we, the young activists, this morning we presented a letter of notice to the Zambia police of our intended protests or peaceful demonstration at the ongoing African Union summit hosted here in Zambia. And the police have advised us not to go ahead with intended demonstration at the summit. I wish to categorically state that we respect government institutions and we shall respect the guidance from the police. I would also want to say that our respect to the government institutions does not take away our rights to be heard. We shall therefore proceed as concerned young African activists to present an official letter to the offices of the African Union here in Zambia and a request for answers as to the concerns which we have about the institution. We shall not go to demonstrate at the African Union offices here in Lusaka, but we shall go to deliver a letter which outlines and states clearly our dissatisfactions, our concerns about the services from the African Union to the African continent. Among the critical issues which we intend to seek answers from the African Union is among the 7 aspirations of this continent in the Africa Union Agenda 2063, aspiration number 4, as where the African Union duped 2020 as the year to silence all armed conflicts in the continent. That have not happened up to today. Africa is still bleeding. Africa is still grappling with conflicts in many parts of this continent. We therefore want to seek public address from the African Union to the African continent as to how far have we gone in silencing all armed conflicts in the African continent. Among many other issues outlined in the agenda, we wish to know as to how far have we gone in the Agenda 2063. This, we call upon the African Union to come out and address the continent. Young people of this continent are the only driving force that can lead to the accountability of these institutions which are presiding over our affairs at the African continent. It is at our demand that this continent can hold accountable our leaders only if we commit ourselves to asking questions and demanding answers to issues which we see to be critical to our affairs as the African continent. Therefore, we shall officially communicate to the media on Monday as to when we wish to deliver that letter to the African Union offices here in Zambia. African youths, we are agents.
That's the ad item of the young African activists. Your reaction, Lance, to this story?
Thank you so much, Chaza. I would first tell you that I am very delighted to see that many different African youths are taking time to participate in African politics, not based on their different countries or their different localities, but as Africans, we are taking part into African democracy, African monarch, and also African anarchy type of politics. Now, coming back to Kosten Mwanza, who is the leader of the African Youths Movement. This movement is a Pan-Africanism movement that believes in liberating Africa from the different types of leadership that believes in the Western type of politics or pre-colonialism or colonialist type of leadership that I would talk about, or that we can highlight here. Now, Kosten obviously talks about wanting to mobilize different youths in Zambia to, petition. I would rather call this a petition than demonstrating, to petition the African Union Summit, which is meeting right here in Zambia, in the hearts of Lusaka, talking about different issues that have been talked about here in Zambia and everything to do with that in the mid-year. Chaza, believe you me, Africa has got lots of issues to discuss at the AU level. We have different bodies that looks at different sections or parts of Africa. We have ECOWAS that looks at the eastern, western, and obviously eastern, western, and northern part of Africa, where we have ECOWAS or parts of countries that affiliate themselves with ECOWAS. And then apart from that, we have also the SADC, which is Southern African Development Committee, which looks at different Southern African countries to look at the affairs of Southern African countries. In this regard, Chaza, allow me to tell you that Africa, according to Costin, is not united, and their petition as youths were to look at the different challenges that Africa is facing. Let me cite a very critical and simple example. Uganda is bleeding today. Why do I say so? Museveni is seriously ripping Uganda off. Obviously, you and everybody else that is watching this program will agree with me that Museveni has made Uganda bleed in such a way that we have not seen him letting the opposition operate in a free way. We are talking about Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine in the previous elections came out as the second in the elections, and he is the most or biggest opposition party. But however, has Bobi Wine been led to operate freely in Uganda? He is a sovereign member of Uganda. He is a democratic member of Uganda. But does he move freely? No. Does he go about to do certain things freely? No, we don't see that. Morocco today is bleeding because the prime minister made a drastic, very drastic decision to say that they are not going to hold democratic elections to see the main opposition taking part in democratic elections. Now, is that the type of Africa that we want to see? No, that's not the type of Africa that we want to see. We want to see an Africa that works together in fighting imperialism, fighting colonialism, and an Africa that works together in seeing to it that leaders are put to checks and balances. Today, Central African Republic is war-torn. It's a war-torn country. Why? Because we have seen different parts of leaders or rebel leaders that have decided to work with apparently people that are not part of Africa and are deciding to bring all this havoc and chaos to Africa. We move on to Mali. We have seen Doumbouya, who is acting differently from what he promised. When he was taking over in a coup, he promised that in January he was going to hold democratic elections. But when January reached, what did he do? He apparently said, we will not go back to civilian rule until when we go to 2025. So this is what Costin Mwanza is crying about, to say, let's petition the African Union leaders to say, let's get back to the Pan-Africanism that our forefathers fought for. Africa is one, and we are supposed to fight as one to see that Africa gets into an African Union, not that which African Union which has divisions within itself, but an African Union looks at the whole.
All right, thank you so much, Lance. We do appreciate, that viewpoint as regards the young, Africanists or young activists there that have developed and expressed interest in the African Union. Let's proceed to the next story.
It is adapt or perish for these mobile money traders in Lusaka's Central Business District, CBD, as they try to keep their business going. Government, through the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Galin Kombo, has clarified that the action to remove the traders from the streets is solely to bring up sanity in the city. A check by Movie TV News in the CBD on Tuesday found a number of mobile money operators going on with their business, though in very tough situation and in total disagreement with the government's position on the matter.
tenga buthi yako tizaishita roketi apa kunalibe unabwera che usiku mwavipwanya vumabuthi ngani kuvitenga mwendo vipwanya wako kujoroni roketi mnakamba tingoshita roketi kuli pako mnakamba kwati roketi wewe mkamba mungachita roketi.
Joining further stakeholders on condemning the demolition of boats, the United National Independence Party UNIP has called on government to compensate the affected traders. UNIP Central Committee member Andrew Mwima says lives should not be sacrificed for a cleaner city.
Insulting the people without warning them, then they just come and raise down these things. That is not right. So we are asking, as UNIP, we are demanding that the local government minister, Honorable Gary Nkombo, should consider or he should take the next step for him to compensate everyone who had their booth raised down.
He says government had an opportunity to engage the traders before moving in with the exercise.
So for government to just have wake up one time when they already knew that they were supposed to do these things, without consulting the people, without warning them, then they just come and raise down these things. That is not right.
For Movie TV News, I'm Afias Kaptula.
To say some of the challenges that are associated with these boats is that they were operating in an environment which is unsanitary. They were posing a number of challenges. So you're asking me a question to say, where are the public health inspectors? What are they doing about this? That is the question I was addressing myself to when I was actually saying that the councils now would not have an excuse. They would have to go in and do their work, because in the past, the excuse which was being advanced was that there are people interfering in their operations. When you go to carry out an inspection and you find there's a problem, before you do anything, you'll be receiving a phone call to say chokani kone abo ni wantu watosa wagirako. In the process, compromising this officer and leaving an unsanitary environment. In short, an abnormal situation was being normalized by political cadres. This is what government is now saying. We should no longer condone that. We should not live in that manner.
There we have it, different perspectives as regards the removal of mobile money booths from CPD. What do you make of this story? We have the government, we have the people, and we have, political parties, not forgetting, the civil society. I've seen Nachisengu who has just come through. I'll start with you, Nachisengu, on this story.
Good afternoon, Lance. Good afternoon, Chaza. Good afternoon, viewers, and good afternoon, fellow panelists.
Good afternoon. Thank you. We do appreciate. Thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah, for me, I kind of find it what they did was good to remove those people who were operating on private grounds, the ones that were, removing those telephone booths from where they were. But my only worry is that there was no communication going to them. There was no warning. There might have been a warning, but communication comes in different models. Like somebody was saying, it could have been something that they could have put on the news, advertised on the news, that will be coming to remove you guys. So start packing up your bags and, and just get prepared, or, remove yourselves and stuff, than just showing up to, to remove them. I think that was, I wouldn't say unprecedented, but I would say, the people needed a little bit of a warning. But other than that, the council are doing the best they can to keep Lusaka clean. I think the last time we spoke to the PS, I actually did mention that I thought Lusaka was one of the dirtiest places in the world. And I think I'm not going to be shy about saying that again, because it needed to be done. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Nachisengu. We greatly appreciate your participation there. I'll come to you, Himba. What do you make of this story?
Chaza, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come through. My view on this story, Chaza, is that it's sad that our friends, the source of income has been disturbed. The source of income has been cut. You know what I mean? But I think the government is doing this for the benefit of every Zambian. Ukubafumya mu street ab'amaboothi, I think for me it's a good move, because these booths kwali bayamo, they have a uniform. Yamo, they are not even it's not even the local authorities that allocated that place. Much do we all know that about most of the booths that have town, they are cadres who were allocating those places, and the money was not even going to the government. All the revenue that was collected from there was going into people's pockets. So literally, it was at the loss of the Zambian people. But all I'm appealing to the government is, can they find somewhere where they'll take them? As we were assured by the PS, local government, when he said they've got the place where they're going to allocate these people, which is a brilliant move. But can we have genuine people who are going to go to the city council, get the certificate proper, and be paid the revenue to the city council? I think as much as it has really affected a lot of households, I think somehow we are going to have sanity, both physically, because those booths were actually becoming a health hazard. There will be cleanliness in the city, and also we are going to have genuinely people operating in those booths, and they are going to be paying money to the local authority that is going to contribute to the economy of the country. There are a lot of things that were happening in those booths, a lot of things. And apparently, in most areas, if I may say 80%, they didn't even have toilets. They were using the same boots, buckets, so literally, it was a good move, but may the government make sure that they find a place to take these people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Himba there. I'll invite Lance to also react to this story.
Thank you so much, Chaza, for the opportunity. And of course, let me get to disagree with Himba. Himba, you would be delighted to know that these mobile money booth operators were actually paying 25 kwacha to the local council each and every day that they were operating. So when booths were introduced by the so-called previous regime, the Patriotic Front, yes, they paid 5,000 kwacha for them to be erected each and everywhere that they were erected. Under PF, they were paying 5 kwacha every day as a council remittance. But when the UPND government won, it was actually increased to 25 kwacha, which in that 25 kwacha was not only cleaning the surroundings of the booth, but also was part of the money was a remittance to booth operators going to council toilets without them paying a 3 kwacha, which is always required from a person that goes to attend or that goes to meet their needs at a local council toilet. So it was really very sad for the government to come in without notice, taking down these booths. If somebody, I know I've seen many resistances or statements coming through from different people to say, no, they were notified. If really these booth operators were notified months ago to say their booths are going to be booted out of the city, why did the local council had to remove these booths in the night, unlike during the day, if they had set out that awareness to the booth operators? This is a $1 million question that leaves much to be desired. Chaza, I leave this question to the public out there. Thank you so much.
All right, so that's a question that is going to the government also, because there's a claim that people were informed, and people are saying we were not informed, and you have actually removed these booths. So what happens to our booths? You've destroyed them. So it's a double loss to us, and it's a cry to the government. We have Rebet, who has also joined us. Welcome to the program, and good evening. Rebet? It appears he's not with us in terms of audio. Let's proceed to the next story, and I hope on the other side he'll be able to join us in the audio.
So you have entered the premises. No. Yes, we have the gentleman, whatever they want to do, they will do it. Yes, we told you we are coming with you, we are coming and bringing him to the police. What do you want to have inside the house? What do you mean what do you want to have inside? You've come to pick him? Yes. Go and pick him. We expected you. If you had wanted to do that, we would have done that before. Now, you have said you want to pick him. And we've told you we are bringing him. What was the agreement? We have told you we have agreed that we are bringing him and we want to come with you. What about these people? These are not my people. No. They're doing their job. Okay, do your job. Let me do my job. Bring this gentleman. Yes. Bring this gentleman. Please excuse us. Please move your car. I get my car. We pick him and follow you to the police. But you are not comfortable. You are not comfortable with us following you. I have to be with him. That is fine. No. I mean, is he under arrest? Is he under arrest? You have already entered his premises. We've been here before. Yes, you have. Okay, if you want to get him, please go and get him. And show us what permits you to get him. Go and get him. Move. So that I drive my vehicle in, we pick him up, and we follow you. So you're inside the premises. You're supposed to be out there. Yes. You may want to move. You do not have the requisite papers. Please. You may want to move. The gentleman wishes to speak to you. We can wait.
All right, the first reaction to this story, I'll invite Lance and get to the other participants right here on the program.
Thank you so much, Chaza. Really appreciate for the privilege that has been hosted to me. Now, very simple, Chaza. If you are a law enforcement agency, such as the police, simple basics that you need to understand is that when you go or when you have been instructed to arrest a suspect, you do not just only go there empty-handed. You go with a court order or a police permit to say that you are supposed to search or arrest persons living in this compound. Okay? That is very simple and basic. So for me, in this manner, the police acted unprofessional for them to go without a paper, either from the police command or from the High Court or Constitutional Court or whichever judiciary or from the judiciary to say that they have this order or they have this permit for them to come through and arrest or pick up this suspect. Now, in a manner that the police acted there, it was very unprofessional, and Makebi Zulu, the lawyer for Chilufya Tayali, acted very professional. Hence the reason why you saw him very confident saying, oh, mwebwera kumugwira oyo. Okay, ngenani since mwangena kudala mu offense. Ngenani kamugwireni. But the police, knowing that they don't have a police permit, any order from the court, they couldn't proceed. Instead, kapokola nankala nansoni kuyanga are the things that we do not need to see when you are prosecuting a matter which is very serious and of public interest. Let's act professional and let's put professionalism in the work that which we do. The police should be professional, and the police can only move in to arrest or call a suspect when they have evidence or when they have an order or permit from the court or from the police command. Not wanyamuka chekyo na ndogwira uyo waso. Waenda kuja, lawyer wete understand law, anda kukusevanya. This is the thing which we saw in this attempted arrest of Chilufya Tayali. Unfortunately,
all right, it appears that we have lost Lance to connectivity there. At this point in time, I'll invite Nachisengu to react on this story.
I saw the whole thing unfolding in front of the what do you call them? Oh my goodness, I always forget what you guys do. What are you guys? Chaza, what's your profession again?
In this regard, journalist.
Journalists, yeah. You know, I saw the whole thing unfold in front of the journalists. And before I say anything, a long time ago, before the new Dawn government came into power, you didn't have any, the police didn't need to have any, permit to go and arrest anybody. I'm a daughter of a police officer. This is the first time I'm even hearing of permits. People were arrested no matter where they were. The police just, walked into somebody's house and arrested and off they went. I don't think they had a permit when they went to arrest Hakainde Hichilema in his house, when they were arresting him and pretty much, pulling the whole house down in those times. We should all be thanking Hakainde Hichilema for introducing the rule of law. Now people know that I can't just be taken away unless you show me a permit. People should be very happy and should be thankful for the new Dawn government, is what I can say. As for Chilufya Tayali, I think that guy should take it easy, because he's digging his own grave. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nachisengu. I've seen Himba has just joined us on this particular story. Himba, what's your take on this one? Himba, are you here? It appears she has...
I'm here, Lance. I'm here, Chaz. I'm sorry. I'm here.
Okay, please go ahead and give us your viewpoint on this particular story.
I've watched that video. I've listened to that news, but whatever happened there, I really can't really say much. But from what I got, I would say that was unprofessional. That was literally unprofessional, and it looked like the law enforcement were even challenged by this lawyer. It looked like they didn't know what they were doing. I really can't comment much. All I would say that was unprofessional. Thank you.
All right, thank you so
Chaza,
much.
Chaza, can I come back? Sorry, can I come back?
Yes, please, Lance. You can please give us whatever you have to add.
Okay, I know network acted up on me, but like I was saying, as law enforcement agencies, when they are prosecuting these matters which are of public interest, they need to understand the law. They need to understand their work, and they need not to be influenced by politicians or political leaders. In this matter, whatever charged, because Chilufya Tayali, after being taken to the police, was not charged with anything. I followed that case because I would tell you I was privy to the information. Chilufya Tayali sent a message to all of us that are in the media to say, I am being arrested, police officers are at my house, and we rushed to his house. We saw all this drama happening where the police did not even have a clue on why they were trying to arrest Chilufya Tayali. Okay, after that, when Makebi Zulu took him to the police station, we all went there as media personnel. And when we went there was no charge which was slapped on Chilufya Tayali. Then we all wanted to say, why was he raided early in the afternoons if the police did not even understand why they were arresting him? So this is what we are calling to the new Dawn government that has brought to us the rule of law. And obviously, the president has echoed these sentiments many times and again to say, before you arrest, please thoroughly investigate, so that when you have all the evidence you want to have, you can then arrest this person and convict them, because you already have the evidence. You can take the matter to court and the court will convict this suspect. But in this matter, Chilufya Tayali, after taken to the police by his lawyer Makebi Zulu, it was only a few hours. He was left alone without a charge. When the police raided his house, in the first place, the question is, why did they raid his house? For what reasons? Who instructed them to do so? So these are the little questions that which we need to ask these law enforcement agencies to say, why are you doing this when the president has categorically said it to say, investigate thoroughly before you make an attempt to arrest? So Chaza, this issue for Chilufya Tayali's arrest made a very sad reading, or it was a very odd ordeal that happened there. Hence the reason why when Makebi challenged these police officers to say, okay, Mwangena Kudala Muyad, go and arrest him since you are here to arrest him. The police officers did not go ahead. Instead, the police officer was ashamed. So, all our appeal is to say, law enforcement agencies, please, before you try anything else, heed the president's call. Investigate thoroughly before you take action. Thank you so much, Chaza.
Chaza,
Thank you so much.
Allow me to come in there for a second. I just want to, kind of contribute a bit to what my fellow panelist, Mr. Lance, has just contributed. Lance, the one thing that we should know, thank you so much. The one thing that we should all know is that whatever happened, like when I'm being arrested, you don't know why the police are coming to my house to arrest me. The police are not going to say to the people outside or to the journalists, this is why we're arresting Beauty, okay? We're not privy to that information. We don't have the right to even know what they're arresting me about, right? So you might think you do know. I don't think you know. Half the time we know what's going on. Chilufya Tayali has been saying a lot of nasty things. We know that. I live in Canada. I don't think I can just wake up and start talking about my president, saying how ABCD he is and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm seeing this, the freedom of expression in Zambia, I think it's gone to the dogs. It's really, it's gone out of hand. We've never had such a freedom of expression. In Kaunda's time, you never said anything about Kaunda unless you wanted to die or you wanted to disappear without a trace. And we've seen that happen in Zambia. This is the first time I've actually heard leaders going as far as saying, oh, your president is so stupid. Oh, such and such a thing. I don't think, I can give a really good example. Look at Chishimba Kambwili yesterday, talking about the teachers and, congratulating the UPND on the deployment of 30,000 teachers. It's absolutely remarkable to see such a thing, such a leader who's very controversial, coming out in the open to congratulate the other people. And yet, Chifiatari turned around again to contradict to what other people, all the good things that UPND is doing. And I'm not being political or anything, but I think whatever the police officers went to do at Chifiatari's house, all of us are not privy to that information. The only person that would know the information, and believe it or not, would not bring it out to the public is his lawyer and Chifiatari himself. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you.
Chaza, Beauty, like I said, I was one of the journalists that followed this matter and went together with the police. They went with enthusiasm to arrest Chilukyatayali. Yes, I followed this.
Lance,
yes, Chaza.
Is it a reaction to Nachisengu? Or it's just a viewpoint on its own?
It's a reaction to Nyachisengo. I want to make this right, or make this view to the people that are watching, because I was part of the journalists that followed or that went to Chilukyatayali's house when he was being arrested, followed it up to the joint investigative team at the force headquarters until when Chilukyatayali was gotten back home. So I want to get people into clear understanding to say Chilukyatayali, when after all that fracas at his house, that which we have shown in that video, all of us were taken, or all of us went through to the force headquarters in Lusaka, together with Makebi Zulu, Chilukyatayali, and those officers that went to Chilukyatayali's house. When we went there, and Chilukyatayali was being asked or investigated or whatever that the officers got him for, Chilukyatayali was not, let me make this clear and put it on record, Chilukyatayali was not slapped with any charge which the police picked him for at his house when they went there. Okay? I was part of the journalists. I was there at the force headquarters. There is nothing that the police said, okay, tatuma bakapokola bajenzi babwera kuseni Chilukyatayali bamutengera chikwata umulandu uyu waso, therefore achoka pa bondi or achoka pa bail. There was nothing like that, Chaza. There was nothing like that.
Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate that highlight as regards I'm afraid we have to progress to the next story.
Just a minute.
I'll give you a minute indeed.
My reaction to this is that I don't think the whole entire police officers from the force headquarters when there's nothing, and then they walk out, they get him, then they let him go. I don't think so. I think on that one, I disagree. I strongly feel that even if they are arresting Tayali, let us remember that Tayali is still a Zambian, and Tayali has the rights, and he also has the right to privacy. And there's, I'm sure we all know that there's news that should be private, and there's news that should be in the public domain. Whether the journalists are there, it's not every detail they would get. It's not everything they'll be told. There are things which are supposed to be left private and confidential. There are some interests that are supposed to be protected. One thing I disagree is that the whole entire police team can leave the force headquarters, go to Tayali's house, pick him and then get him to the police's headquarters and then leave him. I don't think so. There's Kunda there.
And do you
All right.
think Tayali
Thank you
would
so
have
much.
kept quiet
Thank you so
without
much,
stating
Lance.
why he was arrested?
Lance, I'll cut you short on this one. We have to get to the next story. Kaunda, welcome to the program. I'll spare you for the next news item to actually comment on. For now, please take us to the next story. Tapia, as the producer, is trying.
And I want to take personal responsibility about this because the statement came from this same mouth that is talking. You know, we were confronted. This explanation really should be given by the Minister of Lands, Mr. Elijah Muchima. But because we are one cabinet, I will attempt to answer why there has been slowness in getting this matter done. There are legal issues surrounding this issue. When we took over office, based on the pronouncements that we had made when we were in the opposition, Mr. Muchima and myself, with our officers, went into Forest 27 to pay a visit to see exactly how much construction was going on there. In as far as we were concerned, and I want you, Sidney Philip Chisala, to hear me out, please. When I was saying that in the opposition, I meant every word of my mouth. When we went into Forest 27 now in government, we found that, yes, much as we had propounded while in the opposition, most, if not all, the properties that were granted to be built in Forest 27 belong to PF cadres and also PF ministers. And they're there. Some of them have moved. They live there.
Are there any UPND members of parliament that own land in Forest 27?
I'll give you a categoric answer. It is no a single one. During the time when PF was in charge of the Zambian affairs, the Minister of Lands at that time, or someone in cabinet anyway, did indicate that Mr. Mwetwa, Cornelius Mwetwa, and Mr. Jack Mwimbu had properties in Forest 27. I want you to know that I've since been to visit Mr. Jack Mwimbu's house in New Kasama. It's nowhere near Forest 27. Nowhere. It's past Dr. Kenneth Kaunda's house going down towards Chongwe. Nowhere near Forest.
There we are, an issue to do with Forest 27 there. That was Garing Combo. I think I can start with Kaunda, since Kaunda was the only one that was left in the previous story there. Kaunda, what's your reaction to that?
Hello, hi, Chaza. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Please go ahead and give us your viewpoint on this story.
Okay, the issue in connection with Forest 24, I think I basically believe this issue hasn't really been. It's an issue that requires thorough investigation. One of the things that we should take note about the issue regarding Forest 27 is that there are no really proper guidelines that have been given is in connection with this issue. One of the things that I would want to comment on is, for land to be allocated to an individual, there are rules and regulation under the local government that needs to be followed. And these people, we need to know, how did these people acquire land, which we know to say for a land to be restricted, there are issues to do with the impact assessment that was done. And as we all are aware about that, Now we should be aware to say the issue regarding it's more or less like we are taking it politically when it has to be dealt with professionally. This issue, I believe the local authority, especially under the local government, because Chaza, one thing that I'm going to tell you is that I personally, though I'm not in Zambia right now, but I worked under the Ministry of Local Government, that is Public Health, and my understanding in this area is that before you even build something, there is a procedure that we follow, and these procedures are regulated by the local authorities, which is the council. Now, the question that we need to ask ourselves is, what role has the council played to ensure that this land is protected? And we find that most of the people that are commenting on this issue, the Forest 27, are politicians. They're not even professionals. So it leaves questions to be answered, because I personally, from the time I've been trying to get news here and there, try to see how far this issue has gone and what are the major things that are being put in place. Trust me, nothing much apart from hearsay. We hear people are politicizing who is there, who's not there, why they are there. But the question is, who is supposed to regulate some of these things that are not being done? It is, which we all know that it's a local authority. But now we find that it is more on the political side. I heard in the previous video that you just played, where I think Garin Combo is commenting on either we have the UPND or the previous government that have settled in the Forest 24. The question is, were these professional people that are responsible in allocating these lands or protecting this land involved? And then, if they were involved, what needs to be done? Because now the damage has already been done. What can we do as a country to ensure that some of these things are corrected? Because the damage, trust me, has already been done. People have already settled there. And you know, with our legal system, even if we say, okay, we're going to demolish these people, how long is it going to take with these court cases for them to be approved, either by demolishing them or whatever legal enforcement that the government is going to put on? I think there's really much thing to be done. We can say a lot, but let me allow also other comrades to comment on this issue.
All right, Kaunda, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate that. I am struggling. I cannot see the name at the bottom there, apart from Himba, Lance, and Nachisengu. Who do we have in this studio? As the producer, please bring that one on top so that I can see the name. Lance and Nachisengu. Who do we have in this studio?
This is Percy.
Okay, great. Pace, thank you so much for coming through. Good evening to you.
Just 1 second. I think I've lost volume. That's why.
Okay. Are you able to get me now? Okay, as he's figuring out there as regards.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
figuring out there as regards. Can you hear me?
Yes, indeed, I can.
Yes, I can, but it seems I have to listen to the other side for me to understand.
Okay, you may do what you can, and we can have you back right here. So for now, I'll shift then to the other participants as you get to figure out the audio issue there. What you can, and we can have you back right here. So for now, I'll shift then to the other participants as you figure out the audio issue there.
No, I can do it right now because I can only pause when I can start talking. I'll have to stop the other side I'm listening to hear you.
Okay, then you may proceed and give us your viewpoints as regards the Forest 27 story. Okay, then you may proceed and give us your viewpoints as regards the Forest 27 story.
As for me, Forest 27, honestly speaking, for me, Forest 27, it's a story whereby we don't have to talk about it, to be honest with you. The reason I say we don't have to talk about it, that land, there's a reason why they didn't allow people to build there. It's simple and straightforward. How can a group of elite people in the country go and build houses in a place which helps cater drinking water to the other part of the population? There's nobody who's special in our country. All of us, we are special because we are all Zambians. So if I was a minister of local government or the president of this country, honestly speaking, those houses would have been gone as soon as I was elected as president. Because for me, I'm sorry to say, the president, yes, is doing his job. The local government, they're also doing their job. But on the Forest 27, for me, they've failed. It's simple and straightforward. If something has been gazetted in the government, all previous governments didn't build there, what's special about PF? Let's be realistic. What's special? Unless the panelists here who are here, they can tell me which is special about PF, then I'll shut my mouth. But at the moment, there's nothing special about PF apart from being hooligans, doing what they feel is right, even if it doesn't make the country improve. Because all they've done is destroy at least 1 million people's drinking water. Just for what? For less than 30, 50 people? Because they were in PF? Come on, let's be realistic. I'll say, Mr. Gary Nkombo, do your job, please. And the president should also at least put his stamp on it. Because at the moment, personally, I'm not impressed. I'll leave it right there.
All right, thank you so much, Pace. Due to time, I think we can proceed to the next story. Then on the other side, we see how much time.
Through a ZESCO prepaid meter number. At this point, the commission did not know which Esther Nyawatembo this was. Thereafter, following the media publication, the lawyer to the former First Lady made a claim that the said flags were for the former First Lady. We then invited her to come for an interview on Thursday, 7th July 2022, a date which the lawyers wrote informing us that it was not convenient for them. They proposed today, 12th July 2022 at 10 hours, which was also not convenient for us. As you are aware, the country is hosting the AU Summit, and following social media reports that some sections of society would want to raid the commission on this day, the interview has been postponed to a later date, and we want to mention as DEC that we have a lot of respect for the former First Lady as the mother of the nation. And in this regard, we would be comfortable to interview her from wherever she will be comfortable. On the second matter, on Friday, 8th July 2022, the Drug Enforcement Commission received information about some high-value vehicles which were parked in a yard in Lusaka. We then conducted an operation in which the said motor vehicles were seized and verifications of their ownership details immediately commenced. None of the motor vehicles is registered in the names of James Ndambo or my hometown as alleged. As a commission,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much once again for all the efforts that you have.
Your Excellency, before you go,
Antonio, don't blame me for giving up power. It was the right thing to do.
Your Excellency, before you go,
A lot of you have said you should have resisted, but I can assure you it was the right thing to do. Hand over power. President can see and compare. We stand head and shoulder above them now.
Your Excellency, before you go, I've got one question for you. I've got a few questions for you, Your Excellency. I want you to describe the entire. I would like you to describe the entire episode which you were going through with your family, because it started with your son. Daliso was at some point summoned by the SEC, and also your daughter as well. She's before the court as we speak today, and now the former first lady, she's also being summoned. How would you describe the entire process?
You don't have to be very intelligent to know that after her it's me. Yeah. So this is a sequence. You're just peeling the onion. So I'm ready. All I can say is I'm ready. And there's talk about immunity. Yes, they can take away the immunity, but I'll be able to answer to whatever charges. So I'm ready. Even if they say, look, I'm hiding behind the immunity, I'm not hiding anything. And even now, they're at liberty to question me and the citizen I can answer. So don't worry. I know what's going on. The strategy is to make sure that they kill PF, they kill my political life. I'm still politically active, although not in leadership, but I can still give an opinion, I can still influence certain things. So they're worried about that. I have said I'm no longer there, but I'm a living being. In short, you can consult me. I'm also a player in that sense. So they want me out of it completely, but you can kill the body, you can't kill the soul. And you can't kill ideas. So there are people who believe in what we believed in PF, what we still believe in, and that is which we're going to reign supreme. Like I said, we now stand head and shoulder above them, because people have been able to compare oranges with oranges. You can tell which ones are wholesome and which ones are rotten.
And how would you describe Zambia's political environment? Because in the next few days we'll be hosting the
Excellency, we thank you so much.
Please let him answer.
Lying would be Buhata, Moza. That is what is the
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you so much.
We have two stories there coupled up. A statement from Dek as regards Esther Lungu and Ndambo, and we also have Edgar Chagwa Lungu there saying he's ready for DEC or Anti-Corruption Commission. I'll actually invite Pesi to take up this one. What's your reaction to these two stories? Pesi, are you here? Tapia's Pesi is struggling there to join us in audio. Let me bring in somebody else probably to actually give us a viewpoint. Who do I pick on? Najisengu, are you here?
I always have something to say, you know me. Anyway,
Go right ahead.
you know what I would say is, yes, if you're not guilty, wait for people to come and interview you and give them, what they want to hear. We know, we've heard stories that some of these people, the only thing that they owned before they came into government were wheelbarrows. Okay? So how can somebody become so rich such that in less than 10 years' time, they're billionaires? So that's a question to be answered. Let the DEC do their job, and the DEC also need to carry out a thorough investigation. My colleague Lance already talked about DEC being able to do their job before they even arrest anybody. The Law Enforcement Commission should understand their job properly before they pounce on somebody or going into somebody's house to arrest them or to even go and interview them. They need to do their homework. That's where I'll leave it. Thank you.
All right, Lance, under a minute, please come through and react to those two stories.
Thank you so much, Chaza. Very disappointed, first of all, with former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. He is a statesman or a former statesman that's not supposed to utter such statements or such words. He is not politically active, like he has said. Therefore, he is supposed to be the father of the nation. But him being politically charged and uttering such statements leaves very much to be desired. And everyone's assertions, like they've been saying and talking, to say no, it's normal because his family is tormented, he's also tormented. Guys, let's be factual and truthful. He is a former head of state, and he is the one that's supposed to champion one Zambia, one nation. If the opposition is supposed to come to him, or the ruling party is supposed to come to him for advice, he is supposed to be there to offer it and not to align himself to one political party which he served as a leader. I am very disappointed. Thank you so much, Chaza.
Thank you so much, Himba. Under 1 minute, your reaction.
Thank you so much, Chaza. First and foremost, I'm very disappointed as well on both stories. Very, very disappointed. And I'm more disappointed on the former head of states. He can't come out like that. And what is really making my heart even bleed is that he further went on saying, I don't think I made a mistake. Kupasa power. You know, it's really, that doesn't make sense. It's like it's a favor he did for us, the people of Zambia. That wasn't a favor at all. He did, that was his mandate. When his term comes to an end and he loses the election, he has to hand over power. So he shouldn't come out like he did something for the Zambian people. It was a favor. It wasn't a favor. And as soon as that he accepts that he was doing what he was supposed to do and what is required of him by the Constitution of Zambia, the better for all of us. Because the way he's coming out, he's actually misleading the masses that it was a favor. It's like that power was him until death. Hell no. He did what the Constitution requires him as the former head and never lose some elections. Secondly, I'm very disappointed over the my hometown issue. How can all those vehicles come into the country without anybody registered under them? What were they doing in the country? I think we need the law enforcers to do their job. We need to know what is behind that, and we need to know how did all that how those cars crossed the borders. What were they presenting in these borders? How did it? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. These vehicles were not even supposed to be allowed in our country, even to get to Choma. They were not supposed to. Thank you, Chaz.
Thank you so much, Kunda. Under a minute before we get to the next story, quickly your reaction.
Yeah, I think, Chaza, we all have, I think, something in common. I will not comment much on the statements of the head of state, but I think I will comment on the issue of my hometown, the Choma issue. You know, one thing that I think makes my heart bleed is that certain things, the way they are done, is really a disappointment. You know, like, I'm sure for our sister who is in Canada, she knows how things are done. I'm in Europe, you know how some of these things are done. You can, I don't know if it's our system. We really need to improve our service system. If we say those cars came in the country illegally or by whatsoever means that the claim might be, the first thing they should have done is, before even we hear of it, they were supposed to sort out those issues, have thorough investigations. I think when I just joined, I think I had someone comment on how these issues are being spread out there without any investigation, which I think it's really a risk on our part, and it also compromises on the authentication of how investigations are done. And I think that shouldn't be the case. And maybe the last thing that I would want to comment on is I think some of these things also, as individuals, we are our major contributors. The way we spread rumors in Zambia is worrying, trust me. we are misusing social medias to spread rumors. According to DEC, it's just a rumor. But the question is, who spread the rumor about Mr. Ndavo and in connection with the vehicles? So it's really crazy. We don't know what is true on the ground. I think next time maybe you can put it as a first story so that we can gather more information, and maybe you can just highlight more so that we get to know on some of those things that are really happening in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please, let's get to the next story.
I really thank God for this opportunity. I'm so thankful.
Emotions ran high as some successful candidates could not believe their names had made it to the final list.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Okay, thank you. I've seen my name.
I'm very much happy, and I thank them. I thank my God. This is the first time.
Frida Chifuka, a teacher of Senanga district, could be heard from a distance as she screamed the moment she identified her name on the list. Mutelo Muzumi has been teaching in the private sector in Mitete of Western Province and has now made the list.
From the time I sent my papers, I was just here in Lusaka. Here today I've just come to buy a paper at Daily Mail, Zambia Limited. I've just checked and my name is there. So I'm very, very happy. I'm so grateful.
They came in numbers here at the Zambia Daily Mail, anxiously waiting to check for their names under the teacher recruitment process. Then one by one, they have left happy faces. But for some, the search continues. The parent, Newton Makondo, is grateful to government for the employment opportunities.
It is happening for the first time. So whether my daughter is there or not, but I'm so happy. You can see the joy. Just see. Look at that. Yeah?
The Zambia Daily Mail called for patience as all areas of the country would be reached with the newspaper.
For the clans, the people in the Western Province, Eastern Province, we are loading into the buses early tomorrow. We normally have arranged certain buses, and then those will feed into ShopRite in Western Province and ShopRite into Chipata. But in between here, we've made strategic points where we'll drop. Once the physical paper is out on the streets, we'll go online also on our online publication to publish the two papers.
30,000 copies have been printed and are being distributed countrywide as teachers in many places wait for a golden moment to check for their names. Wilson Mulinda, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
Thank you so much for watching.
All right, this is actually the last story that we are reacting to. And I'll give a minute to each one of you to actually, give us your viewpoint as regards the teacher recruitment. I'll start with Nachisengu coming to Lance, thereafter Himba, and in conclusion, we are going to have Kaunda. Let's go with it. Nachisengu, your reaction to that.
I trained as a teacher in Zambia a few years ago. I won't date myself. I won't even tell you when. You might work out how old I am. But looking at, hearing 30,000 people being deployed today comes with great joy. But my question is, how many people does Zambia train every year? And if this is the case, if they're not able to employ people every year and they have to wait this long to be deployed, then why not suspend the training of teachers and bring in something else that we have short supply of, for instance, maybe plumbers or whatever it is, so that, we don't keep a lot of people waiting for jobs that they won't, be able to get, for a while. And it's great to see all of them, excited. I was happy for them too. Thank you.
All right, Lance.
I want to know how old Nachisengu is. When did you train Nachisengu?
It raises eyebrows,
But anyway, that's a light moment, also for us, Ubuntu channel viewers as well as presenters. Thank you so much, Chaza. And believe me, this brings so much joy to not only me and people that have been recruited, but to every Zambian that believed in the UPND ideology that they will bring about employment, and people that will be first employed will be teachers. But again, let's not run away from the fact that we do not only have to thank the UPND for employing over 30,000 teachers. Let's also thank the PF administration for at least trying to build a few schools that they built. A few, I'm not trying to say they built, but a few which they managed to build. And the new Dawn administration has managed to employ over 30,000 teachers. We really appreciate and looking forward for those that did not make it on the list, at least to make it on the list next time. Unfortunately, Chaza and the world out there, people that haven't made it on a list, at least quite a number of them, have committed suicide. Some have survived in hospitals, some have died, and those others, at least, are still waiting for the list. Thank you so much, Chaza.
Thank you so much, Lance. Himba, quickly, your reaction.
Chaza, for me, I'm going to say congratulations to all those that have been recruited, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy for this news, and I'm so happy for them. And for those that have not been picked, all I would say to them, Mango taipila pamo. There's always the next time, and God's time is the best. Maybe it was not their time. They should not give up. And for those that have committed suicide and they've passed on, it's unfortunate and it's so sad that we react different to situations. But what can we say? Such is life. There's always the next time. And for those who've been left, don't give up. Well done to the new government, Dawn, and may God continue giving them wisdom so that more young people can be employed. We are still waiting for the list of the nurses, and may the government continue being committed and to deliver what they promised during the elections. I rest my case.
Thank you so much, Himba. And finally, Kaunda, your reaction?
Wow. Thank you very much, Chaza. I think this, when people do something good, we need to appreciate as a country. And I think for a long time now, it has come as something that looked to be impossible, but thanks to the new Dawn government that have proved to us that it is possible, anything is possible. And congratulations to the new Dawn government. And I think, Chaza, my brothers they'll kill me for disclosing this, but I'll tell you that people right now, we're not even enrolling in education because people were afraid. Now it gives us hope, especially for us in the education sector, the business of education. At least we have hope to tell our clients, say, okay, fine, there's new hope that people can now get into education, study, and get employed. It's a good thing to both the people that are getting employed and also to people that are training teachers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kaunda. We greatly appreciate your participation here. Not forgetting Himba, Lance, and Nachisengu. We greatly appreciate those of you that participated in terms of comments. Not forgetting Lawrence Mulungu, Ruben Mulungu, Amos Chanda, Pesi Chama, Emmanuel Chibonta, Jule, Paris, Lydia, the Anthrodosal, Soja Bu, Enoch Tonga. We greatly appreciate, and we do look forward to next week. And thank you so much to the producer for actually extending the time, because we had, many stories that we needed to look at and do analyze right here. I've been your presenter on Ubuntu channel, and my name is Chaza. Do join us even next week, same time at 21 Central African time. Till then, God bless you.